Greetings from Australia and welcome back to our channel. My name is Ruth and I am an Australian legal practitioner based in Australia. My passion is to help my clients gain permanent residency and Australian citizenship here in Australia. Well, in today's video, I would like to share with you 7 things you must do for a Global Talent Independent or a GTI pathway visa. Now, please do not treat the contents of this video as legal advice because we do assess each case on a case-by-case basis. If you need our help, just drop us an email on the email address below. But otherwise, we trust that the contents of this video will give you a good understanding as to what you're looking at and what you need to look out for your GTI visa pathway. So let's get started. What are the 7 things you must do for a GTI visa? Now, prior to this video, I've also made another video about what the GTI visa is about. I went into things like target sector, nominator, salary requirement, etc. So you can check that video out before this video because this video essentially talks about the practical steps that you need to take when you're ready to pursue your GTI migration. So the first thing that you must do for a GTI visa is prepare your paperwork. It's all about the evidence, especially with our Australian government. You know, applicants can say, well, I'm talented, I've got achievements, I've done amazingly well, I'm getting paid this much, you know. So you can claim and say you've met all the requirements, but without paperwork, immigration cannot grant you your visa. So it's really, really important that you have all your paperwork in place and make sure that they are legitimate paperwork. Now, paperwork can be things like reference letters from your previous employers to confirm that you've worked for them. It could be contracts to say that you were getting paid the high income threshold. It could be qualification papers to say that you've got a master's degree, a PhD, or bachelor's degree. And if possible, before you lodge an expression of interest, I would also highly recommend that you look for nominator documents because whilst it's not a requirement for the expression of interest stage, I highly recommend because you see, for the case officer to actually consider your expression of interest, this case officer, need to know why is this applicant different from the others. So you need to be able to distinguish yourself from everybody else. And for that reason, it's really important that even though it is not a requirement during the expression of interest process, we highly recommend that you have a nominator at that stage if you can. If not, that's fine, but we do highly recommend that because first impression counts. And once you've got the paperwork ready, the second thing is to submit an expression of interest. So when you submit an expression of interest, there's actually not a lot of space in which you can write. So it's really, really important that you are concise and to the point and that you hit the different points that immigration is looking for. Like I said, how do you distinguish yourself from all the other millions of applicants, right? So, make sure that you make an argument for a strong case. Get someone to check it, whether it's a migration lawyer like myself or a migration agent or, someone who is trustworthy to check that you've met the requirements. Because if you don't pass the expression of interest stage and the case officer looks at your application, it's a very basic application. It feels like you didn't even put any effort into it. Guess what? They are not going to invite you to apply for the visa. And so you will lose an opportunity for the GTI stream because this is essentially one of the best visas, the fastest visa to come to Australia. So really, really important to make good impression on the first impression, right? Great, so that's the second thing. The third thing that you must do for a GTI visa is once you obtain an invitation to apply, then you need to proceed to get ready to apply for the visa within the specified time frame. And the name of the visa is actually called Distinguished Talent Visa. And there is an offshore option, which is if you apply outside of Australia. There is an onshore option, which means if you apply from Australia, so ensure that you choose the right visa, and then ensure that you apply within the specified time. Okay. Number 4, before you apply for the visa, you need to make sure that you prepare the paperwork. So immigration is very, very strict with paperwork, and on another video I'm going to go into specifics on what paperwork is required, but right here I'm just going to go through briefly. So there will be things like your identity documents, your skills documents, your qualification documents, any contracts, payslips, nominator documents, your character documents, and if you've got a spouse or children, a partner, then you need to show a genuine relationship and that they're dependent on you if they're your children. So you need to make sure that all these documents are in place in order for you to apply for the visa. And the 5th thing is, once you've got all the paperwork, then you go ahead and lodge the visa application. Ensure you are using the right forms and you pay the right fee, because if you use the wrong form and you pay the wrong fee, you're not going to be granted your visa. And number 6, ensure that you check that you receive an acknowledgement from immigration. What we normally do is the moment, if we're handling our client's case, the moment they have paid for the visa, the first thing I do is I will check my email to make sure that immigration has sent us an acknowledgement, which is to confirm that they have received the application. This is very, very important. If you have not received the application, that means something somewhere went wrong. Okay. And finally, the 7th thing, ensure that you check your emails regularly. If our clients engage us, we are usually the immigration lawyer on record. So essentially what we do is we monitor all the emails that come in from immigration and ensure that you provide additional documents if requested, because sometimes immigration will say, well, we're giving you 28 days and you have to do XYZ. So you need to make sure that you meet the time frame, because if you don't, immigration can refuse the visa. Sometimes they'll give you 7 days, sometimes they'll give you 14 days. So you need to be on top of the time frame. Really, really important. Otherwise, if you get a visa refusal, then all the effort that you've made so far, all the money that you spend, all the stress and all the sweat that you've invested into your case will be for nothing. But that doesn't mean you can't reapply depending on the circumstances, right? So there are the 7 things. Number 1, prepare your paperwork. Number 2, submit an expression of interest. Number 3, once you get an invitation to apply, determine which visa to apply for. Number 4, prepare the documents. Number 5, lodge the visa application. Make sure you pay the right fee and use the right form. Number 6, check that you received an acknowledgement from immigration. And finally, number 7, ensure that you monitor your emails and your phone regularly, just in case immigration contacts you and asks for further information. Well, I hope that this video is helpful to you if you're looking at the GTI visa category. But otherwise, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. We absolutely love dealing with global talent visas. It's really interesting, it's really fun. And if you need help, just let us know and shoot us an email, and it would be our pleasure to assist. Thank you and have a great day.